Hi folks, Reaser Studios have recently updated Automobilista 2 with version 1.1.0.4. Shortly after that they released a hotfix as well. And it has a myriad of changes, improvements and fixes. In this video I'd like to focus on just one single fix which I think could lead to an absolute game-changing feature which would be very beneficial to this sim and also all sim racing titles. So what that feature was that they fixed a bug in which the AI simulated times could fluctuate wildly. Now what this means is that if you take a car, say such as the Ginetta G55, to a track, say such as Spa, and run a qualifying session, if you let the qualifying session run the full 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you set it to, at the end you will see the times that all of the AI cars have achieved and of course your own as well. However, if you then decide you haven't got time to run that qualifying session, you might want to skip to the end of it. Now if you do that, it will give you a bunch of simulated times, and previously they would be quite wildly different to the times you'd get if you actually spent the time to let them run the qualifying session. So that might be a really small thing, you might think. However, it's actually brilliant, because think about it. If you say know exactly how fast you are around Spa in a Ginetta G55, for instance, I know that I can average about, let's see, 2 minutes 37, or the low 2 minutes 37s, round there. Then I want to go and have a race, but I haven't got time for a qualifying session. Well, I can't have my race because I don't know what to set the AI to. However, if I go along to the track, like so, so let's load up the track here, and I set the AI difficulty to whatever skill it is, I can then skip through the session very quickly and find out what their times are. If I find that my time is somewhere in between them, I know I'm going to have a good race pretty much instantly. So I can then jump out, set up the race, jump back in and start racing. So here we are, we're at Spa. Let's skip to the end quickly. And there we go. So at fastest, the AI are doing a high 2 minutes 36s. At slowest, they're doing 2 minutes 42. So I know I'm going to sit in here quite neatly, somewhere mid slightly forward to the pack, doing a 2:37. So that's great. And let's just jump out of here. Now I've run these tests thoroughly, and what I found is that if when I previously, because you'll get a bunch of different times every time you do this, but they'll be reasonably similar. The first time I did this, the AI were doing highs of 235.5s and lows of 239.8s. Then I ran, that's with running a full session. Then I ran a skip session like I've done just now, and they were running lows of highs of 234s and lows of 238s. So it really works. Now the reason this feature could be an absolute game changer is if the game can predict the lap times of the AI that well, then why couldn't we have a feature where you could go and do a test day? So in Automobilista 2 it's called a test day, in rFactor 2 you could call it practice, in ACC you could call it practice. Anyway, you go along to your test day and you start doing lap times. At the end of your session, let's say you've done an hour of lap times, you'll have a bunch of lap times left. Now, wouldn't it be great if the game could record your lap times and take your average lap time, or closest to your middle lap time of that session, your fastest lap time and your slowest lap time, and then have a feature where it asked you, would you like the AI to be set to this level for this car and this track, based on your average lap time, or if you felt you wanted a bit more of a challenge, based on your fastest lap time or based on your slowest lap time. You say yes, it then goes and plonks you in the middle of the grid for your next race there. And then of course you're going to get better over time. So once you feel, if you say put the or get the game to average the cars on your fastest lap time and you end up beating them all, you can then go and do another test session. It will record your lap times again and you can reset it. Wouldn't that be absolutely great? Now, there have been things tried like this before with things like adaptive AI. That's never worked. I've seen that in simulations before, and it's terrible because what that ends up with is the cars will slow down and speed up based on how fast you're going, and no one likes to race against someone who's sort of slowing down for them. So, what do you think? I think this is a really interesting topic. Room for some discussion. Please tell me what you think in the comments below this video. Start a thread on race department as a discussion, because I think maybe Reza have already thought of this because they're so forward thinking. But I'd like to see Reza possibly do this first because, well, they've kind of inspired me to come up with this video. But I think if that was implemented in all sims, it would make things so much easier for offline races. It would save so much time. Imagine that you love sim racing, but you've only got a couple of hours a week, and those 2 hours are split into sessions of half an hour. You haven't got time to do a qualifying session and then a 20-minute race. So you could just, based on your last test session, set the AI immediately and go ahead and race. Please let me know what you think. If you're finding my videos interesting, please subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Hit the bell icon if you want notifications. And in my next video, I might have a look at the AI in general, because I've noticed a few little interesting things about the AI between qualifying sessions and race sessions. Anyway, let me know what you think. Cheers.